Say hi.
Hi.
I'm Amber Rodriguez, and you're watching the Recount Podcast.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, and I'm the one that's leading you on the expedition. And as you can see here, we have some people on the roster tonight, so let's introduce him right now. He is the man. He's one half of, pure ignorance, because that's what they are, just straight ignorant. But he is the muscle of the group, so give it up for the man himself, Prince Machiavelli.
What's up? Always great up for him.
Golf claps. But this is Now Entering the Ring, which means one thing: we have a special guest for you. You can find this man at SWO. You can find this man on Eclipse. You can find this man at EWA. And you can find this man at Premier Wrestling League. He is the most shining man out there, also known as the most toxic man in the wrestling game. Give it up for the man himself, Rico Hendrix.
How you doing? I'm feeling extra toxic today. I'm in a mood, so let's get it.
Hey, so one, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show, man.
It's not a problem at all. Not a problem at all.
But this is how it's going to work, man. It's like a smooth conversation. That's what we said. I have a few questions. Prince has a few questions. And then we're going to have the second greatest segment on this podcast, which is the 3 Count Podcast 10 Count Questions. We'll cross that bridge when it gets there. But the first question I'm about to ask you, man, who is Rico Hendrix?
I just tweeted that. Rico Hendrix is basically Mason Xavier if I didn't have to play nice with females in real life. Basically, Rico Hendrix is somebody who I have wanted to be probably since middle school. And I channel all of that energy and anger and I don't want to say bitterness. I'm not a bitter person, but I take all of that, I channel it into the toxicity, and it just exudes from me. And whoever's in the ring with me, you're gonna fall victim to all of that anger. For lack of a better word, I'm just a bad person. That's who I
am. I just imagine like a young Rico. And then some girl just comes over and just like, just curves you. And you're just like, you know what? One day I'm going to be big and famous. You can come talk to me. And just like Lil Wayne, I'm like, bish me off.
Right. I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, damn. I was like, I feel bad for the prom queen. But
right.
So what brought you into the business, man?
Honestly, I've wanted to do it since I was about 12 years old. That's when I started taking it seriously. Like, all right, I'm gonna start putting characters together. I was watching YouTube videos on how to do the moves. I was watching YouTube videos on what it takes to get in. I was dedicated to it. And one day this was around the time Ring of Honor came to town. And, I was talking to a friend of mine, blah, blah, blah. And they went to EWA and they were explaining how it was a school out in Dundalk. I'm like, wait a minute, I live like 20 something minutes from Dundalk. So I checked it out, and the rest was history. It just kept going.
That's awesome, though, man. So I'm going to ask this quick question, and I'm going to pass this over to Prince. But I got to know, man, in your time in the ring so far, what has been the worst bump you've taken?
It's not that I'm not going to call it a bump. I think the worst thing I've taken was it was a 6-man tag match. It was a spot where one of the guys was going to moonsault on top of 3 of us. Okay. I was in position. One was halfway in position, and then the other was completely off the grid. So I kind of caught the brunt of it. But the thing is that I caught a knee when he was coming down right there. And I broke my nose, and I had like 5 or 6 scratches around my face. I wasn't busted up. Well, my nose started bleeding pretty badly. So yeah, there was that. But in Maryland, you can't bleed. Otherwise, I would have kept going. I finished the match though. I came back.
All right. Well, Prince, the questions are for you, sir.
All right, cool. So my first question, it is not a serious question. So it's not really my first question.
Okay.
a Saints fan because I seen that Carolina Panthers shirt on that you got right now.
Yeah, I can't go for the Saints. I barely can go for the Panthers right now. And as a matter of fact, since Cam Newton, they did my boy wrong, I just thought about it. I always come prepared with a backup. I can't do this no more. I can't unless we draft. Never mind, we just got Sam Darnold, so it doesn't even matter. I don't know how I can root for Sam Darnold. I don't, but we'll see what happens going forward. Just pray for the Panthers, y'all.
This is a serious question. What does it mean to be a black man in wrestling to you?
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up a little bit.
I said, what does it mean to be a black man in wrestling to you?
It means a lot, actually, because growing up for me, I'm not going to say there was none, but we were limited to certain things. We were either dancers, we were rappers, we were preachers, and that's really it. I can't really think of anything else. So it was mainly that. And what I wanted to do is do something outside of that. I wanted to see more African-American talent going outside of those three archetypes of professional wrestlers. And now when we're seeing guys like, we're seeing Velveteen Dream and stuff like that, and we're seeing guys like Leo Rush, and we're seeing guys like Bobby Lashley, even stuff like that is really inspiring. So then I look at myself and I see the next generation looking up to me. I'm fairly young, 21 years old, but I see the next generation of guys that are like 12, 13 years old right now. In a couple of years, once they're able to start training and stuff, they're like, dang, Rico Hendrix, he did this, he stood for this. He really revolutionized the game. So I want to do what Rico Hendrix did.
Okay. All right. Next question is, where do you see yourself this year? I always ask where you see yourself in 5 years, but where do you see yourself this year? What do you see
year? I see myself as a champion. I know that much. That's number one, first and foremost. I'm starting to get that itch. Like at first you walk into it like, man, I just want to have a match. I just want to have some fun out there. But now I'm starting to develop a little, all right, it's time. It's time for me to show really what I'm about, to show that I can carry a division, to show that I am one of the most consistent performers that you're ever going to see.
Okay. I like that answer. The last question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years? Let's see, what's that? 2026. Ooh. I'm gonna speak from best case scenario. I see myself signed, really. I'm gonna work until it happens. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't happen. I mean, as long as I keep bettering what I need to, what I'm doing now, and start working on those little tweaks that I need to fix here and there, I don't really see any reason. And I probably need to get a little buffer, but we'll get there. But I don't really think anything's holding me back at this point. I can't use the excuse that I don't know people. I can't use the excuse that, oh, people are against me because nobody knows me yet. So it's time to just start building on what I have now. And 5 years from now, I'm not saying it's going to be NXT or AEW or whatever. Even if it's Ring of Honor, NWA, or Impact, something, I plan to get my foot in the door in one of those places within 5 years.
Okay.
Bet. Yeah, that's awesome, though. You got another question, Prince?
I think I do. So let me. My question would be, if you could form a group, who would you? You already know.
We talked about it. That's the crazy part. I would definitely, yeah. I need you and Chaz though, because y'all are like gritty and Rico's pretty. So, that's a cool name, gritty and pretty. But anyways, I'm not supposed to be getting into fights. I don't like getting my hands dirty. I like laying back. So the fact that y'all actually have the Duffin season thing, y'all actually like doing it, I'm like, hey, y'all go ahead and take care of that. I'll just pick up from here. And there's a mutual respect and everything like that. So I think it will work out. But I also want a powerhouse. I want somebody that's like, they don't have to necessarily be tall, because I like being the tall guy. I'm only 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", depends on the day. I don't know who the powerhouse would be, though. We'd have to find somebody. Probably have to find like I don't know. I might have to think on that.
Okay. Y'all heard it here first. Pure ignorance. Rico Hendrix.
The collab. Say gritty and pretty.
Gritty and pretty. Well, shit, man. I guess for me, man, my next set of questions is gonna come hitting to you, man. It's got to be the one that everybody's gonna be asking you. What's the hardest you've ever been hit in a ring?
Probably that knee. I don't think I've been hit harder than that. That kind of hurt. I still see that knee every time. I've taken like 2 or 3 dives after that, and every single time I see the same thing, just like, please don't hit me. But then I'm good. So
nice. All right, man. So you drive to the show. You probably haven't eaten anything all day because you're worried about like upchucking in the middle of a match or something happening. So after the match, everybody has to have that post-match snack, man. So what's your post-match snack?
A snack, I go for whole meals. But if we go on snacks, normally I have, what do I like? Golden Oreos are probably my favorite snack in the world. So that's probably number one. I got to have those things around, and I probably shouldn't eat them as much as I do, but they're so good. I can't help it. But as far as like when we're back on the road and stuff, if there's a Waffle House, I have to hit it. There's no way around it. Waffle House is a staple in American culture, and it would be disrespectful for me not to grace, or for me to go into a Waffle House. It's just blasphemy.
No, I feel where you're coming from. I know for me, like driving back, man, like for me, Taco Bell is like the number one hit spot. Like the $5 box though, man. I need all that.
Yeah, Taco Bell I had to be in the mood for. That's one of those things where I just, got to be in the mood for it.
All right, man. So the next question for you, man, is like, what kind of advice do you think you would give up and coming wrestlers into the game?
I don't want to give a cliche answer, but I mean, it's true. Authenticity is your best friend in this industry, simply because when you come in here, obviously you want to be coachable, teachable, so on and so forth. But when you step through the curtain, you want to be somebody that, okay, it's cool to like kind of take inspiration from certain things, but you don't want to be a direct copy of somebody else. You want to, or you don't want to do something that just doesn't seem natural for you. Like for me, that would be if I were to come out and be like, I'm a pirate or something. That's not going to work. You want to draw something from you and make it your own, make everything your own. Even if you want to be, like I said, if you want to be that pirate, be the best pirate there is, or be like a pirate pimp, do whatever you want, just make it your own. And the more authentic you are, the fans are going to draw closer to you. They're going to know every single time. They know when you're phony, and they know when, trust me, you will get chance of that if you remind them of somebody else. I've gotten Velveteen Dream more than anything. I've gotten Cedric a few times. I got Orlando Jordan. That was kind of outlandish. I was just, that wasn't even close. Love him, but I've gotten Elijah Burke a couple of times. Yeah, I've gotten it all. So it just depends on where you go. But yeah, just be you and make everything your own. That's it.
Man, you had me at pirate pimp. I'm like, I think I might have to make a gimmick change.
I'll say I might help somebody.
Scurvy, she got me booty.
Like, excuse me. If you don't give me that treasure, woman.
Bitch, you go catch his hands.
Right. Catch this hook, baby. Somebody gonna do it now.
Man. I'm gonna be like, yo, you took that right off the podcast. Like,
right.
And if your catchphrase is "I put the X in the booty," we know that was. All right, man. So give me one do and one don't of the locker room.
One do. This is probably a big one, especially after the whole speaking out thing. I'm kind of going to go into that a little bit. One do, if there's a female talent in the locker room, be trying to make them as comfortable as possible. Don't be weird. Like, even if you find him attractive, cool. If you want to shoot your shot, talk to him in the parking lot or whatever, like afterward, like, hey, how you doing? You know, whatever you do. But when you're there to do a job and they're there to do the same job and you talk to them as if they're like subhuman or they're just somebody you're trying to hook up with after the show, that's a no-go. Because then that's how you get bad situations, and then you're going to end up on speaking out, and then next thing you know, you're unbooked in a lot of places, and nobody wants that. And I learned that it's not because I was doing any of the bad things, but the more I was sharing, the more I was sharing locker rooms with female talent, I knew, oh, well, let me go out of my way so they know I'm not a creep or anything like that. So that's one do for me. One, don't talk too much. And when I say that, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that feel as if they're know-it-all, especially like those grizzled vets that are like those, what do they call them? Like 20 miles, 30 miles or whatever. You haven't been outside of a certain range, but you want to lecture me on what I should do to make it. It's like, I get it. I get that you're coming from a place of help. That's nothing. Consider the source, but that goes with everything in life. When somebody's giving you something, just look at their life and, you know, when those people talk too much, now you're at the point where it's like, bro, I'm like, you haven't done anything. You think you have all this knowledge, and you're being, in some cases, condescending towards other talent. So that's a big don't. And when you're the younger guy, don't go in there trying to talk like you know it all either, because you don't. There's so much more you need to know, and there's so much room for you to improve and evolve in the game. And I've had that happen multiple times, and I've learned from that. It's not that I was necessarily being like I was talking like I knew everything, but I felt that I was comfortable with what I was doing, and everybody else just was like, you know, yeah, they were giving their advice, but it was like, man, I'm gonna do my own thing anyways. But the more and more you do it, it's like, dang, I really should have changed this, or dang, I should have done this in the match instead. It's just things you learn along the way.
Bad. No, that's great advice. Both of them. Like, I think it's the first time I've heard the way, especially about, you know, when females are around, like, yo, like, make them, yo, it's home. It's a locker room. Like,
right.
Don't be a creep. Like, that's the craziest. Like, it's crazy. You're right, man. With the,
I'll say we're men. It's like, so for men that are attracted to women, you're gonna think and look, and I'm not saying like look as far as them, you know, in a creepy way, but you know what I'm saying? It's natural. But just, you know, control yourself. Self-control.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like, you're there to do a job. Like,
right.
Don't be weird.
I need to get back into character now. I just advocated for women, so let me go back to my character.
I think about that, dude, because like just anywhere in like a workplace, just period, right? Like even at my shoe job, like I just see like some dudes are just like, hey, yo, like, we stacking bread. No, literally, we're stacking bread. Like, what you doing later tonight? I'm like, yo, dude, like, what? You're in a grocery store. Like, who you talking to like that? Like, shut up.
At least you know you got a job.
Yeah. Like, you about to lose this job because
right.
Oh, man. All right, man. So that is for my hard-hitting questions, as well as Prince's hard-hitting questions. So like I said, we got to get into the second best segment of the 3 Count podcast. And people always ask, what's the first? It's the Red Dog Power Rankings on the debate show. You got to catch us on Sundays. So let's get into the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions. Rico, this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you, okay? It's whatever first comes to mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
This should be fun. Oh, Lord, let me. All right, I got it. I'm good.
All right. Let's put on the imaginary timer. Bing! And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite movie?
Real Steel.
All right. DC or Marvel?
DC, I guess. I don't know.
Favorite X-Men?
The Wolverine dude. Yeah.
Sonic or Mario?
Sonic.
Favorite karaoke song?
Oh, I knew I sing karaoke. Anything by Tinashe or Janae Aiko, because I love them. So
let's go. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Favorite podcast?
The one that no, I'm joking. 3 Count Podcast. Y'all are good.
Yeah, that's right.
I like
3
you
count,
guys.
right there.
I like you guys.
Nominate one person you want to see on this podcast.
Nominate one per. I'll nominate my mentor. I'll be nice. Mason Walls, because he's very aggressive and passionate. But the only thing is, make sure you have your dinner ready and possibly breakfast for the next morning, because he will talk. He's like that preacher. I don't know if y'all ever been to a black church, but he just gonna go like, now I'm almost done. But he's gonna
So
go.
let me share with you a fun story about Mason, right? And Mason will tell you this. Mason and I knew each other prior to the wrestling business.
Mhm.
So I used to work at this security company. He came in one day and he told me he was a pro wrestler. And I was like, yo, let's bring this man in, like, duh. And
Right.
like, I saw him one time and then I saw him one more time after that. And then like, I just didn't see him again. So I didn't even know if we had hired him or not. And my coworker was like, yeah, he's over at this one store right now. I was like, what? And so randomly, like I ended up leaving the company and I just randomly saw him at Sicken's place training. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what's up, man? And
Like, hey man, how you doing?
yeah, it was like, holy crap. And then we just like low-key had this conversation. But I've had Mason Walls on the show before. So
Oh wow. And one thing about him, I'll put him over a little bit. There are very few people that are actually going to take their time out and invest into you, especially as a younger guy. He's young too, but he's older than me.
right.
So there are very few people that are actually going to reach out and be like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, or I like the way you did this, but you need to do this instead, so on and so forth. So when you get somebody like that, then it's truly a blessing. It makes you better in every single way. And like I've gotten to him for workout advice. We've talked relationship advice, like all of that stuff. He knows all my personal business. I know most of his. So hey, it's really good to have somebody like that. So find a Mason Walls in your life. Amen.
It's crazy because
Got a little thirsty.
he'll get a kick out of this when he hears this episode. But it is the second time in less than 3 weeks that he's been mentioned on interviews. Just
Okay,
out
I'll
of the
mention
whim.
somebody else then. Who did I? Well, nah, Kerry Robinson. Y'all get him on here?
We've had KA.
Oh man.
That's what I love. I just said you could nominate somebody. I just didn't tell you whether they were on or they were.
All right. Well, somebody gonna get on here. Somebody gonna get on here sooner or later.
We got him. All right, man. But it is for the last question. My favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this show. Favorite curse word? You can say it, by the
I
way.
don't know which one I use the most. I don't use fuck unless I need to. Bitch is probably my favorite because that one I feel the power of Rico Hendrix coming up. So that's probably my favorite one.
That's a great one. So now that we have that out there, so now that we have all those questions wrapped up, let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you.
On my social media, I believe all of them are at Rico Hendrix Pro. My Facebook is Rico Hendrix. As far as upcoming events, this Saturday, what's this Saturday? This one. It's the first?
No, the 17th.
Yeah, 17th. Okay. So this Saturday, I will be in Houston, Delaware for 1CW's Rebirth. Who I'm facing, don't know, but just come out because I'm going to be there. As far as that, my schedule, it kind of needs to fill up a little more, but May 2nd, I will be in Bluefield, West Virginia at Premier Wrestling League again. It's my third time out there. I will be facing Jeff Paul. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully I don't get into a hardcore match out of nowhere, but I'm ready for it no matter what. Last month, I actually faced Cole Carter, who's actually on AEW Dark, literally as we speak right now. Congratulations to you. Good luck. He's going against Lance Archer, so might need a lot of it. But that's it, I think. Yeah, all of it's at Rico Hendrix Pro, Rico Hendrix for Facebook. That's it.
That, man. So with that being said, this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, here with Prince Machiavelli. And as I said, this is Now Entering the Ring. with Rico Hendrix. You guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you wait until the exit, the outro, and then you just let the next episode play because we need those plays and views. Give me the views, all the views.
All right.
What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.